Now let's talk about the Couette flow and combined Couette and Poiseuille flow. So this differentiation basically depends on my del p del x value. If my del p del x in this particular case is equal to 0, I call this the Couette flow. If my del p del x is non-zero, it gets a little bit more complicated, so we call this Couette-Poiseuille flow. So basically, if you look at it, what happens in here is the top plate is moving. Okay, in the previous case, Poiseuille flow, the top plate was constant, the bottom plate was constant, and the pressure gradient was generating the flow. Now, I'm generating the flow by moving the top plate. And also there may be a del p del x in the same system, so that we will cover both of them. So in this case, what we have is, let's write our observations. It's going to be 2D, just like the previous Poiseuille flow case. My G will be very similar to minus gy in the J direction. Okay, as this is, I'm telling you, this is laminar, fully developed, steady. You know, that's given to you those. So I can call this steady. As it is laminar, my V will be 0 and my W will be 0. So that's going to help me a lot. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of writing on the iPad and go back to the previous segment, or you can go visit the previous segment if you would like to as well. But show you something. Look here. Where is it? So is this question is going to be different? The thing that I would like you to realize is, over here there is a del p del x, over here this top plate is moving, and there may be del p del x. But those things only change the boundary condition. It doesn't change the equations. So if I do my analysis, I will actually go ahead and find out this del p del x is 0. And if I go ahead and write my Navier Stokes equation in the x direction, I will get the exact same cancellations. I will get this equation, I will get this equation, I will proceed this, bam! Right here now that there's a difference. Look at the boundary condition. I said that the top plate is not moving, now it's going to move. The bottom plate is still the same. Y is equal to minus h, u is equal to 0. Okay? And if you look at this equation now, if this is Couette flow, where del p del x is 0, look at it. This term vanishes. Right? So I simply get a linear velocity profile, c1y plus c2. Okay? So I'll do both of them, so you can observe how to approach this. Let's go back down and continue our analysis. All right, so as I said, let's write over here that my u is equal to c1y plus c2 for Couette flow. I actually forget to write e's, did you? I'm sure you catch me doing that, but you can see Couette as an e. I'm sorry about that. Couette flow. So u is equal to c1y plus c2 for Couette flow, and u is equal to, again from the previous question, 1 over 2 nu del p del x y squared plus c1y plus c2 for Couette-Poiseuille flow. Okay? What is the boundary conditions? In either equation, actually it's the same. At y is equal to h, at the top plate, u will be equal to some kind of a constant. I'm going to call this capital U. And at y is equal to minus h, I will get myself u is equal to 0, identical to the Poiseuille flow case. Okay? And if I go ahead and do it from the, let's call this 1, let's call this 2. If I do the first equation, I will get myself u will be equal to capital U over 2, 1 plus y over h. You can see how I obtain this, right? This first. If I go up there, I put this to here, I put this to here, 2 equations, 2 unknowns, find it. But I can verify, if I put y is equal to plus h, top plate, it's supposed to be capital U, right? So that will be h divided by h is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so these 2 cancel, I get myself u. That's good. How about the bottom plate? I'm going to put y is equal to minus h, so this becomes minus 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, so I get myself 0. Okay, so I'm good over here. And if I do the same, or rather similar approach for the combined Couette and Poiseuille flow, what I will get is, I will get this, u is equal to 1 over 2 nu del p del x y squared minus h squared plus u over 2 1 plus y over h. Do you remember this? This is the solution from the previous segment. This is my Poiseuille flow, and this is my Couette flow, right? Just look up there, equation number 1. So now you can see I have a superposition over here. My goal was to obtain this. I have 2 parallel plates, and I have here a del P del X, as well as the top is moving. So now you can see the superposition. Over here, I can have myself these parallel plates, and I can have u over top is equal to 0, but I have del P del X. Plus, I can have myself the other way around. I can have the parallel plates over here. I can have, there's no del P del X over here, plus u is equal to capital U. Why? Because it's a linear equation so far. I'm not really dealing with very complicated stuff, so it's not extremely surprising to us, right? It's a linear equation, so I can do superpositions anyways. One thing we love to do in fluid dynamics is to non-dimensionalize things, okay? So for instance, you see here u, right? If I divide both sides of the equation by capital U, okay, and let's look here, for instance, this is non-dimensional. What is the dimension of y over h? Non-dimensional. So if I divide by u, then it becomes half, right? So this term becomes non-dimensional. I can do the same, so this becomes 1 over 2 u viscosity, right? And that becomes u over capital U. So let's do what I exactly said. U over capital U will be equal to, this is like a constant p. I will write it because it's, you know, neat that way. 1 minus y squared over h squared plus 1/2 1 plus y over h. And my p is here is, I talked about this up there, so it's nothing surprising, but is minus del P del X, right, times h squared divided by 2 nu times u this time around. Look at it. Why do I have a negative sign? Well, look at how I write in here. I did minus y squared, so I kind of flipped this around. I flipped this around, so that's why I have a negative sign there, okay? I'm writing the same thing. I just want you to be realizing that. But again, the units wise, what is the unit of the, or dimension of y squared? Well, it's meter squared if I'm using the SI, right? So this is non-dimensional. This is non-dimensional. So this whole thing is non-dimensional. This, if you do it, I'm not going to do it at this point in time, but you can double check this and you will see that this is non-dimensional as well. There has been some efforts actually to plot this non-dimensional things, and it's like this. This is the top plate, this is the bottom plate, and now what I have is, let's go over to here, and this is going to be 0 velocity, and the top plate, at the top plate I'm going to have 1, right? So at the top plate, if you look at it, when I plug y is equal to 1, what will happen? If I plug y is equal to 1 here, this goes away. If I plug y is equal to 1 over here, I get 1, right? Because h over h is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I got myself 1. Over here, I got myself 0. So this, how they are related will depend on this p value, okay? So if p is equal to 0, what will happen is if I plot this, I will get myself this. So basically a linear velocity profile is what I get if I go ahead and assume that my p is 0, and it can be, okay? So is this surprising? No, not really. This is a Couette flow, okay? We said that, hey, look here. We said that if del P del X is 0, I call this the Couette flow, and I have the equation for Couette flow. You see, it's linear, so it's not surprising to me, okay? P is equal to 0. If P is larger than 0, I'll get something like this, you know, depending on the values, obviously. So I will have intermediate values as well. You see, it's like that. So I'm going to get a maximum velocity depending on where I'm at. I'm making this up, obviously. This is non-dimensional, so you can see this is something like that, okay? Interesting thing occurs when this is P is equal to minus 0.25. So when I have my P is equal to minus 0.25, what happens is now the pressure, actually, if you think about it, is a negative value. So what that means is pressure is pushing it this way, but this top plate is moving that way, so there's like a balance between those two. And what I obtain is P is equal to minus 0.25. I get the shear stress at the bottom to be 0. Look at the slope of that line, okay? So I will get that. And actually, if I still go ahead and increase my del p del x in the negative direction, what will happen is I will start to have some separation. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Okay, like that. If I continue, it's like this. Let's say, minus 0.5, then it will be right at the center, halfway through it in here. This can be minus 1, etc. Okay, but let's write it over here. If my p is less than minus 0.025, we call this backflow or flow separation. Okay, the top part of the flow goes this way. If I plot the velocity profiles in here, let's say this one, it's going to look like this, red, right? But back here, look what it looks like. It's going back. Okay, so something to notice. Some portion is going forward, some portion is going back. So it gets even complicated such a case like this, which is supposed to be fairly straightforward.